stranger. So we begin with investigating the dilemma of the water boys in the hood, the young people who illegally sell bottled water on our street corners. I mean, the practice is becoming more controversial as violent turf battles and aggressive sales tactics are overpowering their overall mission. That's tonight's top story.
We are not water boys, we are entrepreneurs.
Drive through Atlanta. Chances are you've seen those kids selling bottled water at various intersections.
I've been hustling since I was young.
Selling water has become a viable alternative of something to do outside of committing crime.
Niggas was going home with like 300, 350, 400 a day.
The water boy culture and the trap culture down in Common is a lot of people involved come from a place of power.
They all seem like they're all together, like the water boys, like they're all together, but they're not. So it's a big competition thing, which is like neighborhood territorial thing. They say the water boys are aggressive.
That's what I gotta do, even if I gotta jump in your car and down there, snatch the money out of your hand. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make sure me and my family straight.
But lately, many people have complained to city leaders about the kids being too aggressive and sometimes violent.
This is not okay.
This cell phone video seen online shows a kid throwing a water bottle at a car after the driver declined the offer.
You do have some out there that have a very professional setup. They got permits. They're going about the right way and making their money. You make the same money as the ones who are being reckless, but they were taught, but they were shown, but someone actually took the time to actually mentor them.
A lot of these boys really want mentorship more than they would want you to give them money or they would want mentorship because they're lost and they're trying to find their way.
The kids, I don't want the kids in harm's way.
Teenager gunned down while selling water on the side of a busy interstate off-ramp in broad daylight.
And I don't want the kids in a situation where they can harm someone else.
Teenagers selling bottled water near the interstate became hostile with a woman who refused to buy anything.
So it's bad on both sides.
You should be at their homes when they're trying to struggle to put food on the table, and then you might understand a little bit better why they're out there in the first place.
Joining me to shed more light on Atlanta's waterboy culture are the creator of the film Thirst Trap, Sensei Chop, waterboy entrepreneur Quintez Dixon, and mother of Jelani Plus, Mika Plus. Thank you guys so much for joining us, because I know this is a tough topic and a topic that hits home specifically for you, Mika, with the loss of your son. But I want to start with you, Quintez, because you still currently own a business. You are considered a water boy with much more because you have dig and snatch. Lots of people consider water boys a nuisance because they say that they're aggressive. So what's your response to that?
Yeah, they are. They can tend to be a little aggressive, but I understand what they're trying to do as far as make money and, stay out of trouble, because growing up in the city, it's easy to get into trouble and hard to get out of. So, I commend them trying to stay out of trouble and, stay on the right path, but I can agree on that they can do it a little better and, be a little bit more professional on how they go about it.
But when you think about the positive, it's the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
I know that it's probably hard for you, Mika, to see that when your son was lost to this.
Yeah, he was actually a water boy himself. He was getting in trouble with it at first. They would stop him and bring him home, saying that he needed a permit or something like that. But after that, I didn't even know he was still doing it.
And it's hard also because your son Jelani was trying to make money. So minimum wage is what it is. And then some water boys would say they were making $50 to $100 an hour, because you have people who do want to invest in the Black community that hand out a 10 out their window for a $1 bottle of water. Mind you, you bought that whole pack of 24 for $family dollar. So the ROI is way more than you can make working in McDonald's. And so you can't really blame the entrepreneurial spirit, but when you see senseless loss of life, you want to look deeper into it like you did, Sensei. So is that what propelled you to write this documentary?
Yeah, during COVID, you seen a big spike of the craziness with the water boys. You seen a lot of viral pictures and videos and everything going up around that time. And during that time period, when you think about it, we didn't know what state of the country was going to be. These kids can't go to school, they're at home. A lot of their parents lost their jobs. So a lot of these kids became the breadwinners. If they weren't out there to get that money by any means, they might not be able to eat. They might not be able to have any water. And since I'm closer to the actual culture of it, I seen really what was going on for real. And it was just kind of like bothering me a little bit, seeing people just showcasing and highlighting the ignorance of it and not realizing, like, I mean, people out here, like Ted, you got real deal entrepreneurs, like, it doesn't end here. This is where it's starting at. You got people like Jelani, who's like, I'm trying to get a car, you know, I'm trying to make this money. I'm not gonna be out here begging, I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
People don't understand that this started during the pandemic. People were suffering, but there were also like 700 some odd calls to the police during the time from January to June when this first started, when the pandemic was kicking off. So it was an incident where they're battling back and forth, but your son didn't die at the hands of the police. He died at the hands of another water boy. Can you tell that story and paint the picture so people understand?
Okay, so I'm sorry. On the 26th, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Around 11, he left out to go celebrate his friend's birthday. He came in around 8:30 on the 27th. He was like, Mom, I'm going to sell one in Midtown. I was like, why? And he was like, the man was like, he was $500 short from a down payment on a car that he wanted. So I helped him pack his book bag. He left. He called me around 10:24. I was like, Mom, I feel like my day's not gonna go right. So I told him to come home. I got the call at 2:19, asked me where he was. I'm not saying he was in Midtown selling water. His girlfriend started screaming. And she said, Dad, FaceTime him with her. And told her that he had been shot. That he was just laying there, not breathing. He wasn't moving. And so I didn't immediately leave. I started praying. One of the young boys that was with him, mother came and picked me up. We drove down there. We sat. They wouldn't let me see him. We sat. Probably an hour later, the medical examiner, she came over and asked me to identify him just by some stuff that was on his body, what he had on. And that's when she opened up the folder and told me that was the baby.
I'm so sorry, Mika, because nobody wants to be in that situation as a mother or a father. You know, that's obviously the worst case scenario. And when we look at other solutions, I want to go to you, Quintez. What's the bigger issue? What do people need? What are you looking for? Would you rather community programs that provide the same type of pay you're making from your business? Or are you inspired by the entrepreneurial actions that you're able to be part of? Or what's the solution so that you can also be happy and pursue your career goals, but also save lives like Jelani's could have been here today?
I feel like that they should have like a particular class or something where they teach them how to be more professional and they teach them how to go about it. Like more not really stopping them from doing it, but put them in the, like show them a better light and how to do it. Because I mean, I have seen it for myself, it do get out of hand. Like I have seen it for myself. I actually went to other like blocks and places like in Atlanta just to see how they sell, and you know, it takes a lot because I be trying to talk to them, but it's like, you know, they kind of got their own way. You know, a lot of them not too far from my age, so it's just I feel like somebody should just teach them or show them like how I try to do, but I can't do it by myself.
I want to thank you guys so much for coming in. Quintez, Mika, Sensei. Coming up, guys, we get